Eh?
And every crack you see, you just see through. And many help God, you will get through. Now everybody come, I feel like the Royal Grenada Police Force presents Ecstatic 3. A night of elegance, talent, intelligence, laughter, fun, entertainment, and refreshments as the men and women of the 4 clubs, along with Her Majesty's Prison, challenge each other for the King and Queen title, along with bragging rights. It's a night of lyrics and entertaining calypsos as the Police Monarch will be crowned Friday, 1st June, Grenada Trade Center, 7 p.m. Tickets cost $30 and you can win fantastic door prizes. Ecstatic 3, Friday, June 1st. Grenada Trade Center. This ad sponsored by Huggins. Pull your phone. Tap the screen. Tap the screen. Show them what I'm all about. Licking natty and turning again. Last night I dreamed the rum and I falling down, but I know this morning I waking up. I waking up.
I didn't fall down, no, I didn't drink it either. I was sleeping, yeah?
No, I'm thanking God for waking me up.
So I'm not confessing through music. Yeah, I was hoping Devon could make it this morning. I haven't seen him yet for the morning, so I'm not sure if he will be with us at all. And there's a high likelihood and possibility we may have some guests passing through with us this morning. Yes, indeed. And I just need to say to those of you who are heading into the south of the island, those of you that are heading into the south, expect some delays in the area of the Captain Harris Apartments. Whether you're coming out of the south of the island or you're going down to the south of the island, you can expect some delays in the area of Captain Harris Apartments. Nawasa, they've been doing some work there and they're just repairing the road. You know, they would have dug up the road in order to do that project and now they're covering it back up. So they're doing some road work in that area. It is causing delays. Expect a 10 to as much as a 15-minute delay according to what they've reached to, what stage they've got to on that, yeah? I myself would have gone through it this morning, that's why I can speak, yeah. Expecting absolutely no traffic on a holiday, yeah? Ended up in a line of traffic that stretched from Captain Harris Apartments all the way back to the Silver Sands project. On a holiday, man. So a good thing wasn't during the week. I might end up somewhere down by food fair. Yes, indeed. I hope that you're already back from the garden, that you went out and planted. What is the traditional thing we plant today? We plant peas, corn. Yeah, some people plant okra, like peas, corn, okra, sorrel, yeah? Want to get your sorrel for Christmas? They're putting it into the ground now, yeah? Want to get your peas for around that time too? They're putting it into the ground now. It is the final day of the month of May. Good morning to you, Gail. Hope you're having a wonderful morning. You and the children having a wonderful morning this morning. Yes, it means also we're 1 month closer to Spice Mass 2018. I'm a friend, I'm in the code. Do anything, do anything, do anything, do anything. Folks, also remember, it's coming up. Yeah, it is coming up. It is the Ecstatic 3 tomorrow night at the Grenada Trade Center. Ecstatic 3, the men and women of the Royal Grenada Police Force and Prison Service will be in action tomorrow night at the Grenada Trade Center. It's going to be a wonderful activity, a lovely activity. I think the gates open at 6. The doors open at 6. They also have a prize for the first paying patron. In other words, if you are the first one to arrive there, you don't have a ticket, you're paying at the gate. So the first paying patron that arrives there, they're going to have a special ticket for you, yeah? We're also saying a special good morning to all the men and women of the Royal Grenada Police Force. Whichever department you are in, we're going to say a special good morning to each and every one of you. We hope that you're having a fabulous day today. Even if you've got to work today, Immigration Department, a special good morning to you. Those of you down on the Maurice Bishop International Airport. Those of you at the various marinas, be it at Port Louis, up there in St. David, in Carriacou, in St. Andrew, wherever you are, we say a very special Grenadian good morning to each and every one of you. Hope you're having a fabulous one. Yeah, the men and women of the police band. The tailor shop, the police tailor shop, we're saying a special good morning to you all. Traffic department, drug squad. You know, we could play a tune for drug squad. You know, we have a tune for drug squad. Yeah, I could play a tune for drug squad. I'll play a tune for drug squad in a while.
It's another hit again. It's another hit and them. And the streets keep talking. Let them keep talking. Them don't know the part that I walked in. Like a needle in a haystack. All this music, my mind is lost in the he said, she said that they involving. Gets them nowhere while I'm evolving.
Also, just to remind you all, this Saturday, yeah, the new national party, the Ducks Challenge Trophy, yeah? Yeah, so it's the PM, well, the Prime Minister, you know, Duck, right? Yeah, so Duck Challenge Trophy. Cricket competition, that's on this weekend. So round 1 is going to be taking place this weekend. In Zone 1, you have South St. George versus Town of St. George at the Tantine playing field, and St. George Northwest versus St. George Southeast at the Monjaloo playing field. In Zone 2, you have St. Andrew Northeast versus St. David at the Simon playing field. And also St. Andrew Southeast versus St. Andrew Southwest. And that game is going to be taking place at the Hope playing field. In Zone 3, St. Patrick West versus St. Mark at the MacDonald College playing field. And in Game 2, St. John versus St. Patrick at the Loretto playing field. All of those games are going to bowl off on Saturday. Go on out and support your own constituency. Yeah, you can't lay your constituency down. You gotta go and support your constituency. Another hit and tape, that is how I view it. Your responsibility is to make this another hit and tape. Another hit again, and I'm giving them it after it after it. Good morning to you, Jacinta. The body is a vehicle that carries a soul. I must say a very special happy birthday to a very good friend of mine, DJ Shortleg. Boy, happy birthday to you, man. What Shortleg? Take that. Good morning, Heather and Hannah and Betty. Miss Courtney, good morning. I see ya. Denise, good morning. I find Hard Talk sounding different this morning. Don't worry, go fall into the normal thing in a little while. Jillian and Janice, good morning. Kim, good morning. Teddy bear, what kind of thing you trying there, man? Man, you know better than that, man. Teddy bear. Right, nice. Teddy bear. Me and you watch, man. The name I like to pronounce, Linda Imelda Francois. Good morning to you, love. Hope you're having a blessed, wonderful day today. Remember, I hope all you go and plant, all you go and put a little something in the ground. Yeah, I hope that you all went out and plant a little something today. Right? Nice. A lot of us does talk agriculture. We don't walk agriculture. Eh? I don't know where to plant. I can't plant. Nice. Anywhere I go and plant, go be trespassing. So I can't go. Wish I could have, but I can't.
Everybody just do what you wanna do. Pop your fist and move what you wanna move. Let we make them know. Once I made that thing for the easy no more. None of them are ready for that catastrophe. I got you man. Hey, I be gonna bad. Mash it up and I'm gonna make it. Hey, anytime I perform.
Yes, folks, and this guy will be defending his groovy monarch this year. That's the Dash. Two-time groovy monarch back to back. He'll also be in action tomorrow night at the Ecstatic 3 in the Calypso competition. Yeah, they're going up against the defending monarch Christopher David. King David, huh? We're going to have Aisha Antoine, who's also taking part in the Queen Show representing prisons. She'll be representing prisons in the Calypso competition as well. I'll look careful with Aisha. Aisha win a double already. She win a Queen Show and a Calypso competition same night already. Yeah? So careful. Nice. Careful with Aisha. Police are laying and let prisons come and take that, nah? So Sean Delamade, yeah, he'll be performing tomorrow night in Ecstatic 3. Then we've also got, outside of him performing tomorrow night in that, you've also got, some of the other Calypsonians. Yeah, quite a few of them, quite a few of them. But I told you all, have a tune for Drug Squad. Yeah, have a tune for Drug Squad.
Just go and get the thing now, go and get the thing now. Do handle me so. Do handle me so. Go right to handle me so. Do handle me so. Listen this. I went and get some paper ready for it. I just get 2 fresh boards and I'm feeling it. My friend them just pull over the party leads. Some people with a flashlight. If you see me, dash it, dash it. The police coming. Dash it, dash it. Dash it, dash it. Somebody make a
That one dedicated for Drug Squad.
well, look at this. They want to spoil me night. But that alright. That alright.
Let me leave that alone, eh? Yes, indeed, folks. Hey, the phone lines are open 440-7377. That's 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. You can get in touch with us. We're also online at Hard Talk Grenada on Facebook and www.hardtalkgrenada.com. Hey, short leg. Yeah, man. Morning. Yeah, we know that's your day, man. You're going to be enjoying it. Yeah, good morning to you, Wade, out there. I know. Yeah, I'm in one of those moods today. You understand? I'm in one of those kind of moods today. Yeah, as I said, I think we should be having some guests passing by. If you all see me get up and go outside and thing, it's because I'm looking to see if they arrive and all of that, right? Nice. In case they come. If they ain't come, no problem. We enjoying ourselves. It's a day off. Enjoy yourself. Avail yourself of the opportunity to be a tourist in your own home. Yeah? Go to Grandans Beach and take a nice little soak today. Yeah? Take a nice little soak on Grandans Beach today. There are people that spend thousands of dollars to live where they are, out in North America and Europe, even within the Caribbean, that also have beaches, but they leave and come to Grenada to avail themselves of Grandans Beach. Or they also go up to the northern part of Grenada and they go to Bathway Beach. And you're right here in Grenada. Avail yourself of the opportunity. Yeah, go take a nice little sea bath today. Take a nice little soak and that kind of thing. You understand? It's good for your health as well. So go and take a nice little soak and thing today. All right. Yeah. As I said, Spice Mass 2018. We have this chap. He's going to be defending his Soca Monarch. Yeah.
So you see that Wednesday, do something with it. You see that Thursday, do something with it. You see that get there, do something with it. You're liar.
And indeed, we've been having some technical difficulties when it comes to the 89.5 frequency. They are being worked on. So hoping if not later today, but at least early in the morning, we can have 89.5 back up. Just also informing you all, the new National Party, they'll be having that cleanup initiative. It'll be taking place this Sunday. And it will be taking place at 2 locations. Telescope Beach in St. Andrew and in St. George, between the bus terminal and the cruise ship terminal. Those set of rocks behind there. Yes, so the new National Party, they'll have teams out there cleaning up. And it's all as part of a project that coincides with World Environmental Project Day. All right? World Environmental Day then. Yeah, so the United Nations World Environmental Day, that's being held this year under the theme Beat Plastic Pollution. It has been found, because we're seeing it now in and between, that the turtles, they're finding turtles that have plastic straws in their nostrils and all sorts of things. They're swallowing plastic bags. It's killing them. And fish that have bits and pieces of plastic in them. When you catch the fish, you know, in some instances, because of the volume of plastic that we're using on a daily basis, not yearly, but even hourly basis, the amount of plastic that we're using, it is ending up in many instances into our rivers, our streams, and our oceans. And then it's beginning to affect our aquatic life. Yeah, so we're having those problems. So we need to reduce the amount of plastics that we're using. In fact, right now in the United Kingdom and even broader into Europe, they're attempting to ban the use of all one-use plastic. In other words, things that you use once and then you throw away. So they are attempting to ban things like Q-tips. Yeah, and I agree with them. Ban it. Ban it. It may sound even better to use like wooden Q-tips, like you use instead of the plastic with the cotton on the end, that you use wood with the cotton on the end. But here's the problem. Then you have to cut down trees. So you're still affecting the environment. Or maybe they could start to use more coconut fronds, you know, like the cookie flex, and put it on it. Yeah. But then they're going to say too hard and it ain't flexible. But they're trying to reduce on the amount of one-use plastics. Straws, some of the bottles that are being used, and all these sort of things. So they're reducing, and they're actually going to ban Q-tips in the United Kingdom. You will not be able to bring them in, and no one will be able to buy them because they won't be on sale in the United Kingdom very soon. They're going to be banning things like Q-tips, and they're going to spread that as well into certain parts of Europe, Germany, and so on. They're going to ban stuff like Q-tips and so, because you have literally hundreds of thousands of tons of these things that end up in the oceans, and then they end up in the fishes. Then you find the fish tasting kind of funny. Yeah, you know why now. Okay? All right. Also, Charmaine, good morning to you from the land of wood and water. Beautiful Jamaica. I like Jamaica, you know. I ain't go Jamaica for the year, you know, and I find my foot itching. It's time for me to visit Jamaica. My Jamaican brethren them. Yeah, time for me to visit Jamaica, man. Yeah. I want to go Montego Bay though. I want to stick around Kingston. Yeah? I want to stick around Kingston this time. Yeah? Hermitage and all those areas there. I might go up to St. Catherine too. I ain't mind going up in Yalas, and yeah, I like Yalas. I love Yalas. I don't mind going up in St. Catherine and so. Nice? But I think it's time for me to make a little visit to Jamaica. So I only miss me for 2 days. Yeah, I don't know where I've gone. When you miss me for 2 days, I've gone up to Jamaica. Yeah, a beautiful, beautiful place actually. I mean, well, you know Grenada is #1, but Jamaica nice, man. I love Jamaica. All right. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. Remember, if you have an issue taking place in your community and so on, you can call, give us a little message, tell us exactly what is going on and so on, and we'll see how we can help you with that. Yeah. Yeah, this one is coming down from Killer B for the year 2018. Yeah, out of Carriacou, huh? Over the years, Carriacou has been sending them some good artists, huh? Short Pre, we could claim superstar for Carriacou too, yeah. Skinny Banton. Also, folks, remember the CDB heads of, not heads, but the CDB governors meeting. It is taking place in Grenada. There are several meetings taking place between yesterday and today. I believe the closing should be taking place today with a press conference, which will include Prime Minister Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, along with other members of the team. Yeah. And when I say the team, I'm talking about the Caribbean Development Bank, the governors. So they've been having discussions in relation to various things, and not just discussions. The thing with the Caribbean Development Bank, when they have discussions in relation to these things and they come to a conclusion, this is the way forward, they will provide funding to member states as to how to move forward on that issue. Yeah? So they provide funding that folks can then use to move forward on that issue. So we look forward to hearing that. All right. And folks, also, as we mentioned in some of the tunes from 2018, it have one from Talpri Boy. That one, I kind of like that one, you know. Yeah.
Well, as I enter this session, man ready to perform. Drinks in me left hand, making me right on. Play me a version, no man thing, no man. They ready to make the people get on. Drum on the bass, give me mad percussion. Hit on the chords, not to mention the horn. It's like we in a trance, everybody head gone. Welcome to a soca session. Everybody just jump. Everybody just jump.
Mr. Special, good morning to Teddy Bear down in the gazebo. Luan, you know what's going on, eh? Because I know you're listening, Luan. So you know what's going on, right? Nice. I gotta change my channel, man. I find I'm hearing something with our music, you know. 34 minutes after the hour of 10 o'clock. So remember the Environmental Day project that's taking place this Sunday. They'll be starting at both locations from 6 a.m. All right, 6 a.m. sharp, because believe me, that sun does be real hot these days, boy. What? Yeah, so both locations starting at 6 a.m. That's the St. George Cruise Terminal. Coming down to the bus terminal. They'll be doing that project on the rocks in the back there and collecting all the garbage that's there, plastic bag, whatever it is, just collecting all of the garbage. And so they're doing a nice little cleanup this Sunday. Also on the Telescope Beach. So you can contact your constituency office for more information in relation to that. It's under the theme, we need our environment and our environment needs us. And when we mistreat the environment, you see what has happened? Look at this agasum, you understand? Yeah, the environment does decide he want to behave bad and give us trouble and them kind of thing, you understand? Nice? So we have to be very, very careful with that one. Let me say a special good morning to you, GT. Hope you're having a wonderful day, man. And thank you so very much. Yeah, you load me up, man. Nice leader. Nice leader. Good morning to you, Najuma. Hope you are having a fabulous day today, yourself and Shiloh. Jermaine Superstar Steinman, good morning to you. Junior George, morning, bro. Our Karakou family, good morning to each and every one of you. The Honorable Kindra, Matthew and Stuart, I hope you're having a fabulous day today. And to your hussy, Nigel Stewart, bro, what's the scene, man? Hope you're having a wonderful one. Yeah, this one is by Valley Ned. Consistently wonderful music from this young lady. Oh boy, for a minute there, I take my eye off there. Good morning, Mrs. Stephen. Just a minute ago, I take my mind off this thing for just a little while. Muscles, good morning. A Grenadian treasure, man. Hope everything is going okay with you and the family, bro. Kim, good morning to you. I'm also seeing Anne. Yeah, Anne, you're there this morning. And Sarah, yeah, no props. Yeah, that's how we does operate. That's hard talk for you, you know, understand? Yeah, it's no one of us you're dealing with here, and it's several of us you're dealing with there, yeah. Yeah, 2018. If you have such high quality music this early in the season, and usually people just hold the bigger tunes for closer to the carnival. So like in July, they want to drop the big bomb, or the middle of July, they want to drop the bomb, and so on. And I mean, this is Leadneck out of St. David. And the youth could sing it on. Yeah, Hannah. GT linked me up. Morning, Lulu. Good morning to you, Christine. We hope that you are having a fabulous day today. Folks also, huh? Don't wait until you hear everybody start to end up by doctor and hospital and in the pharmacies. It shouldn't just be the NNP having that cleanup on Sunday. Everybody, do a constant cleanup, yeah? Dengue, hemorrhagic fever. starting to circulate the region in a serious way again. Now let Nick out touch it from the top again on that one. I find I feeling that tune, man. And so you've got to keep your surroundings clean. Take 5 to 10 minutes, go around your property. Well, according to the size of your property, you might need more than that. But yeah, take 5-10 minutes, go around your property and see areas that may be harboring water and be areas that are causing mosquito infestations on your property. Yeah? The mosquitoes that are biting you don't usually come from next door. They usually come from by you. There's a possibility they could come from next door, but generally they come from right in your property. So you've got to check various things around your home. Old tires around your home are a definite no. That's a definite no. Around your home, your business place, your place, a definite no. Old tires harbor water and mosquitoes, so you've got to get rid of those. Yeah, anything that can hold water, even plastic bags. Might be seeing some bush close by you and it has some plastic bags tied up inside there. When the water settles in that, they just need a few drops for a mosquito to be able to reproduce in. And you know, sometimes at night we have rain and so it leaves water. A crown cork, or for one of the popular drinks and so, that with a little bit of water creates, yeah, the maternity ward for mosquitoes. They call it that. All of that is maternity ward for mosquitoes. And then those mosquitoes can cause dengue in your home. And believe me, dengue is not something you want. For the thing chickpea and all them thing was bad. What? And dengue is a constant one that we see passing through the region. But it as well can cause death. It can kill. So we need to keep our communities clean. And you see this thing about fogging. Clean your communities first. Let me talk about fogging after. Because the fogging ain't helping Somalia at all. Because if they fog, they kill the adult mosquitoes that are already in circulation and moving around. But you find sometime the fog and then you find by later the night you're seeing mosquitoes again. That's some of those that are hatching out in the areas that were not cleaned. Some of you, many of us, we like to have plants and so around our place. So you have the plants and you have the container that holds the water, the basin, like the saucer at the bottom of the plant container. The water settles inside there, mosquitoes. Yeah? The spouting on your home, sometimes it has something that have it blocking up inside it. You may not even know because you are not seeing on top of the house to see the spouting, but it may be blocked or it may be ill-fitted so there's a bend in it that the water can settle in, right? So if the water is settling there, mosquitoes. So as soon as you open your window, you realize mosquitoes inside and you're wondering where they're coming from because you're searching right around. The yard is clean, nothing holding water there. And you're checking all inside. You don't have a vase inside there full of water. You're looking all around. And it might be coming out of the spouting on your home. Yeah, and all one of these mosquitoes need to do is bite someone who has dengue. It could be somebody passing in the yard or somebody passing close by. Bite that person and then bite you. And you will get it as well. All right, so we need to be extremely careful. We need to be extremely careful when it comes to this one because dengue is circulating the region. Yeah, it is circulating the region already. And it's expected that it will increase in the veracity in which it is affecting different countries. So we need now. We don't have to wait, and we should never wait until we hear these notices. Get your house and your communities in order now. Start the cleaning process. When we get the fogging schedule, we'll let you know because we need to let you know the fogging schedule in advance. But the fogging cannot help you if you do not clean your areas. The fogging will not help. So don't even bother to ask about fogging if you know you all did not clean the community. Then there are areas like, for instance, areas that have like the crab holes and those sort of things. So areas that may be close to the sea coast. That's a different situation. No matter how much you clean, you're going to end up with mosquitoes in those areas. So then you have to take other precautions. If you're wearing darker clothes attract mosquitoes. So black clothes, dark colored clothes, those attract mosquitoes. If you want to wear little piece of clothes, little to nothing, you will be bitten. You have the higher probability of being bitten. If you have more of your skin surface exposed, you have a higher likelihood of being bitten. Some people like using the things like the Baygon and the Bop and that sort of thing, and still use it incorrectly. Yeah, they're spraying, but they don't shake the curtain. You know, if you don't shake that curtain when you're spraying, if you don't shake that curtain, there are mosquitoes hiding behind that curtain. That spray doing them anything. All of the dark areas under the counters and under the table and all that kind of thing, because you might spread the entire house. But the mosquito under the table, on the bottom side of the table there, and strange enough, you know, it wouldn't affect them there. They're staying right there. And as soon as the spray has dissipated, they're going to come right out and bite you. So you need to keep the area clean. You have to spray, shake up your curtain and thing. Yeah, spray under the bed, everywhere. Spray and spray and spray the whole place. Nice? Yes, indeed, folks. So remember, just you need to do that. You need to ensure that you keep your surroundings as clean as possible, as clean as possible. Yep. Yeah, keep it as clean. Good morning to you, Burbies. Burbies, I hope you're coming down for Carnival this year. Looking forward to seeing you, man. Yes, Amelise, yes. Spraying is kind of important, but it is also you can't spray the house and decide you're going and sit down in the house. No, you have to go outside. You have to go outside. But if you just spray the house, some people just walk through and they just spray. And I've realized over the years that if you don't do things like the curtains, your drapes and so, if you don't shake them and spray behind them, sometimes when you spray the house and after everything, the breeze blow through and everything and it's good, you go and you shake the curtain and you see a set of mosquitoes coming out from behind the curtain. So you need to do all of that. Yeah, you need to make sure that you do it properly. Nice. 4407377. That's 44073. It's a quiet day today. We know, yeah, it's a quiet day today. I'm fine to see my guests and them passing through today. So like they changed their mind. And I was holding off on certain things to see if they come. Let's get them up until 11. And if we don't see them, we just go in and do it, right? Nice. Lava Man, former road march champion, former soca monarch champion. Lava, let me give Lava Man a challenge. We want to hear Lava Man sing a calypso. Yeah, we want to hear Lava Man sing a calypso. Yeah, I'll be very interested in that one. And we know he's talented, so we're looking forward to that one. Yeah, Lava Man singing calypso. Next thing, Lava Man make it to the march granting. I want to see that, man. So, folks, remember the phone number 4407377. It is the Corpus Christi holiday here in Grenada. And tomorrow, all things return to normal, eh? Well, until later in the evening when you have Ecstatic 3 taking place. Yes, so saying a special good morning to those of you down at the Spice Mass Corporation. Now you have the Miss Caribbean United. That's going to be taking place at the Spice Basket this Saturday. Have some lovely ladies representing various countries who are here in Grenada already. Yeah? You have ladies from Trinidad and Tobago, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Venezuela, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Martin, Barbados, Isle Roque, Miss de Margarita, Nevis, and Grenada. So it's the Miss Caribbean United pageant at the Spice Basket this Saturday. You can get your tickets at the Spice Mass Corporation. They're located at the GCNA building on the Karani James Boulevard. Seeing that all ladies are here. It's going to be starting at roughly 7:30 p.m. I think they'll be going around St. George tomorrow, yeah? So those of you from the various Caribbean islands, tickets are only $40. That's a Miss Caribbean United pageant taking place at the Spice Basket this Saturday from 7:30 p.m. Tickets only $40. Remember, contact the Spice Mass Corporation. Yeah, I'm seeing a thing start up there, boy. Different people, one time, you know. Yeah. Also, for those of you that have been asking, yeah, our own Karani James, he will be back in action next week, yeah? He'll be taking place in the Racers Grand Prix in Kingston, Jamaica. So my Jamaican friend, that's a good excuse for me to get to go to Jamaica, you know, yeah. That's taking place next weekend. It'll be Karani's first race since last year, April. So his first time in racing in over a year. He's been out for a while with an injury. Not really an injury, but he has a little problem that he was sorting out. Right, you realize them Bahamian, everybody now, they find Grenada kind of mash up the place in relation to the 400 meter because we have Karani and we have Braylon. So they're trying to push Steve Gardner and them, you understand? Yeah, but Steve Gardner is running some good times. He's running some sub 44 times. I think he had a time of 43.98. Let me confirm that. No, I was wrong. 43.99, right? And he also had a time of 43.87. So he's doing some good times, yeah? But they always have to remember the name Karani James, because the history books will show that the first non-American, the very first non-American ever to run a sub-44 time in the 400 meter was Grenada's own Karani James. Yeah. The first person who was not an American ever to run a time under 44 seconds in the 400 meter, Grenada's Karani James. So nobody can come back and be the first in that again. He has been the first. And we know that he has it to be able to drop down, yeah, in the low 43s once again. We know he's capable. He has the willpower and he has the athletic ability to do it. So Grenada's own Karani James, he'll be back in action next week. Yeah, that's next week when, boy? Next week Saturday? Yeah, he'll be back in action. That's June the 9th. So that's next week Saturday. He'll be back in action once again. Representing Grenada. And proudly so. For the first time in a year, Karani James will be back onto the tracks. Yeah? Nice. Hey, thank you, Michael Bascom. He made sure he sent that information and thing, and he ain't playing that. Nice, yeah. And I believe Braylon will also be in that race in Jamaica. Let me just confirm who will be there. Yeah, Braylon will be there. I'm not sure if Braylon is in Grenada right now doing his training or if he is out. You'll also have Jamaica's Rasheen McDonald, Demish Gale, and Javon Francis, Javon Donkey Man Francis, as they call him. And then you have the Americans Fred Curley, Tony McQuay, and Michael Cherry. They're also expected to be in that 400 meter showdown up there in Jamaica next week, Friday. So we're going to look forward to that one, eh? Team Karani, Team Grenada. Team Braylon, Team Grenada. So folks, quite a lot to look forward to in the next few days and weeks. So next week Saturday, Karani in action. First time in a year. We're looking forward to that one. You all know me. Once I get the link, I will share it via Hard Talk so everyone will know exactly where to look to see that race. Yeah, we'll get a video link or something so that you all can look and see it. Good morning to you, Michelle, Kathy. Yeah, good morning to each and every one of you. Chantel, good morning to you as well. I hope that you're having a wonderful, wonderful morning this morning, my dear. Also, I realize some persons have been speaking about the Parliament building and trying to say, oh, listen, it's very simple when it comes to the Parliament building. And let me say it here because some people just looking for anything to try and create a talk. Now, the Parliament building, myself, I was the line minister when we made the arrangements in relation to the, what would be the audio-visual aspect, right, for the Parliament building. And so what has happened is that the supplier have stated that they no longer can supply the equipment, and government therefore had to seek an alternative supplier to provide the equipment. But you have to remember something as well. This is not a situation where the government of Grenada can simply go to person A and say, okay, we wasn't getting these microphones and video cameras and so on from this person, so we need to get it from you. There has to be a procurement process. There is a bill that was passed in Parliament that speaks to procurement. In other words, you can't do things helter-skelter and willy-nilly. So there has to be a process that goes on to secure this equipment now from another person. That's simply it. One supplier cannot provide it again. They said they could. Then, closer to the time when they had to supply it, they said they cannot supply it again. Right? So you get somebody else to supply it. I don't know. What's the big issue there that some people have to be crying and looking for something to say on radio and attacking Minister Bowen. Things like that happen all the time. I was supposed to have some guests in with me this morning. I haven't seen them. Things happen. You expect me to be upset and vexed and say, well, okay, are you supposed to come and you didn't come and all kind of thing? No. Things happen. That's life. So we're looking forward soon to the official opening ceremony for the Parliament building. I think that's the only setback. That's the only setback that held back the opening. It was supposed to have taken place next week, Friday. It has been pushed back. Government will announce when the new date for the official opening ceremonies. We expect some regional persons will be here. Some international and regional persons will be here for the official opening of the Parliament building. I failed to mention as well that there was a sitting of the Senate last week, Friday. Yeah, there was a sitting of the Senate last week, Friday evening. Wasn't a normal sitting. Was a short one, no ministerial statements, anything like that. So we'll be having another sitting of the Senate coming up sometime soon. As soon as I know the specific day, I'll let you know, because it also means on that day we will not have Hard Talk. Whenever that is taking place, we always give priority for you to hear the nation's business. So when that is happening, we will give you the information. We'll let you know what day it is taking place so that you can tune in. Nice? I know that they did put together some of the committees and that sort of thing. They put them together and all of that. Yeah, they put together the committees. Some of the standing committees. I also think they had the first reading of the that would be the CCJ bill. Remember, folks, I'm not pulling punches, you know. When the time comes to vote for the CCJ bill, vote yes if you really want to see progress move forward, yeah? See us moving forward. I'm telling you straight, vote yes. And I usually don't tell people how to vote. And I put all the information and you make a decision. But definitely, as I've said before, I think the Bajan Prime Minister, former Bajan Prime Minister, made the perfect case for the CCJ. Because the arguments that I've been hearing from a lot of people who are against the Caribbean Court of Justice has been that they believe the Caribbean Court of Justice is open to political interference. But former Prime Minister of Barbados, while he was still Prime Minister and deep into the election campaign, Frundell Stewart, said clearly that had his DLP government won the election, they would be withdrawing Barbados from the Caribbean Court of Justice. Yeah? Yeah, that's what he said. He said the taking, they ain't going back in that, they're coming out. Yeah? And his reasoning was that he felt Barbados was being disrespected by the Caribbean Court of Justice. Say, Christ, man, they respect Bajans. Because he was upset due to some of the rulings that had come out of the Caribbean Court of Justice, yeah? In other words, they did not do what the Prime Minister of Barbados wanted. He was unable to influence them. He was unable to get them to do judgments that Barbados wanted. Yeah? And that's what the Caribbean Court of Justice is supposed to do. The Caribbean Court of Justice and any court is supposed to rule specifically on law. What the law is. Yeah? Not if political party A is in power, political party B is in power, but what the law says. Nice? You may not like the law, you may not agree with the law, but if that is the law, then the court can only rule on what the law says. For instance, certain religions and in certain places, even within the Caribbean, they believe that children, you can marry children, there are certain religions that believe that. Certain places they believe that. So your belief may be that someone at the age of 10 or 11 could be married. As happens in some parts of the world where they marry off children at the age of 10, 12, all sorts of things. They marry off these children to men in their 40s and 50s and so. Yeah, they do that in certain parts of the world. That can't be done in Grenada for sure. It goes against all law. There's a specific age where you can be married. So if you're from one of the places that believe you could marry people at 10, 12, and you try to do that in the Caribbean, and a case goes to the CCJ in relation to that, when they look at it, they say, no, the law in the Caribbean says that you cannot marry children, yeah? So while you may have your individual belief and you may not like it, the law is the law. And as an officer of the court, you'd have expected former Prime Minister, there's a reason for that, Sheldon Scott to know that, isn't it? Some people believe marijuana should be legal, isn't it? Some people believe that it is a medicine. Some people believe it's a herb, a fruit, just like anything else. And due to that, they believe that people should be able to use it. But the law says that it is illegal to have it in your possession or to use it. You may not like the law, but that is what the law says. And as such, if police find you with it, there are consequences. And if you go to court, there are consequences. So Prime Minister Stewart may not like the judgments that come out because he doesn't agree with them. That simply means he doesn't agree with the law. There was the case in Barbados of several people, including one Grenadian, who brought a case against the Election and Boundaries Commission out there in Barbados, brought a case against them because they were not being placed on the electoral register. They were not being allowed to vote. And the law in Barbados states that if they are Commonwealth citizens and have resided for a specific amount of time in the state of Barbados, they have to be registered and allowed to vote if they so want to do. So they could be from India, they could be from South Africa, can be from Nigeria or Ghana. Any of the Commonwealth territories, Australia, New Zealand, the UK. And once they have resided for a specific amount of time in Barbados, they had to be allowed to not only register and appear on the electoral register, but allowed to vote. Some people were trying to stop that from happening. They were trying to stop these people from voting in the Barbados election. They didn't want any Guyanese and Trinidadians and Grenadians voting in the election. Even though they have been contributing to Barbados and have been there in some instances as long as 10 and 15 years. They didn't want them voting, so they tried to stop that. So the case was brought against the EBC, the Electoral and Boundary Commission, or whatever they call it in Barbados, on the Friday. The Caribbean Court of Justice sat on the Sunday in Trinidad. Yeah, the court is based in Trinidad, so they sat and they came up with a judgment on Sunday. So within 72 hours. I can tell you, had that been the Privy Council, that case, the judgment may not have even come out to it yet. You would still be waiting, isn't it? Yeah, election would have done and you're waiting on it. But the Caribbean Court of Justice was able to deal with that in a short space of time. Again, while not making specific reference to it, it doesn't seem as though Prime Minister Sheldon Scott liked the idea that they ruled in the way that they ruled. But then he was also seeing the numbers and realizing that even his own seat was in danger at the point in time, and it was more than likely that he was not returning as Prime Minister within a few days. So he made the statement. And there were people here actually trying to latch on to that as a reason that people should vote no against the Caribbean Court of Justice. That is a reason to vote yes for the Caribbean Court of Justice. It means that a Prime Minister here in Grenada or any politician here in Grenada that feels that they can affect the ruling of the Caribbean Court of Justice would be seriously misinformed. Barbados was the first country into the CCJ. And even to add to the argument, then Prime Minister Sheldon Scott said we're pulling out of the CCJ, but we're not going back to the Privy Council. We're moving forward, not backward. He saw it as a backward move to go back to the Privy Council. And while he was seeing that as a backward move, some of us are saying stay in the Privy Council. I mean, come on. Michelle, good morning to you. Zephyrin, Joycelyn, and Sheena, special good morning to you. Hunter, morning, bruh. Hey, we haven't spoken for a while, man. Yeah, but I think we need to sit down and chat. So it's either when you're down here or when I come up, man. Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out, well, what argument are they going to use against the CCJ? I think it's a good thing for our region, and especially for artists or performers or cultural people in the region. I think more and more, lots of us fail to see that our music industry, for instance, the rhythm I'm playing here right now, can be worth millions of dollars. But if we do not put the mechanisms in place to protect it through copyright and so on, then you never know. The next Avengers movie might decide that during a fight scene they're using that tune, and the people who have spent all that time in studio all night and everything putting that tune together, they may find a situation where their tune is being used and they ain't getting money for it. We have a call online. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sheldon. How are you?
Hey, I'm fine. Go right ahead.
Everything all right?
Yeah, for the time being.
I think it was, I wonder if it's yesterday, the day before, you was mentioning the fogging that's taking place around. I would like to mention that, you know, in spite of the fogging, I mean, the government does their part, but I understand there's a lot of old stuff around in many people's yard, and even on the roads, I see that a lot of old vehicles are being just left on the side. So, I mean, we could do the fogging, but as long as those old stuff remain around, what may happen, the water may come and resettle, and the mosquito will start to breed again. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if the government can do some kind of stuff, maybe help get rid of all that. Because I know about 10 years ago, they removed all the old vehicles that used to be on the side of the road and stuff like that. So I don't know if anything could be done regarding that situation.
Well, my whole thing is that, yes.
I will listen to you on the radio. I can't hear you.
Mm-hmm. My whole thing on that is, yes, I mentioned it earlier, the importance of cleaning your communities and that sort of thing. But outside of the government doing it, is we that putting it down. We have to stop behaving like bad behaved children. Because sometimes we, as people in the community, behave as bad behaved children. You know the little children that want to leave their toys all over the house and then mommy had to come and clean up after them? Yeah? That is how some of us behave. It's not a toy car we leave in, it's a real car. But we want to leave it at the side of the road. So then, and some of the places you want to leave your cars and these sort of things, you leave it at the side of the road in an area that you make into one-lane traffic just because you want to leave your vehicle there. And I'm not talking about you're living close by and you're parking for a few hours or you park at night, and so I'm not talking about that. Because we do understand in some circumstances there is no other option. You have to park there. But I'm talking about the people who just take a derelict vehicle and just leave it at the side of the road in a place. Or a truck. A truck. Sometimes they take truck and they just leave it at the side of the road. And what happens? Because people have to start driving in a certain kind of way now to avoid colliding with that derelict vehicle that has been left at the side of the road, you know what happens? They start to damage the other parts of the road. Then you have pothole here, pothole there, all sorts of things, and everybody start to complain. But it's one person that caused the problem by just parking the vehicle where they feel and leaving it there and going about their business. And then that's supposed to be okay. Then we call on government and say, government, move it. I agree, government, move it, but send the bills to the owners. Two things I would push for the administration to do. One, those derelict vehicles that are all over the place, identify the owners, give them, whether it's 48 hours, 72, me ain't getting them no 2 and 3 weeks. No, some of them things been there for years. Me ain't getting 2 and 3 weeks to move it. 72 hours. Yeah, 3 days. If it is not moved in that space of time, the government of Grenada sends whatever team it needs to send, whatever tow truck and thing, move it, right? And after you move it, you bring it to a scrap yard. If there are any usable parts, you scrap it. You sell the bits and pieces for metal. Yeah, you sell that as scrap iron. And you may have usable parts in it that you put into a storeroom. And then you sell to make back your money for the tow truck. But on top of that, you send a bill for the towing to the owner of that vehicle. That is my view. But every minute people just see the thing and them around and they say government, government, government. Sometimes before it gets to that stage, we as Grenadians must take responsibility for our communities. I understand there's some wonderful guys who do operate garages and that sort of thing. Wonderful guys. They have their families to see about. But you cannot do some of the things that I'm seeing done. Some areas it's already a very small road. 2 vehicles could barely pass at the same time. And somebody decides they're opening a side of the road garage and they're doing several things that are damaging to everyone. One, they're taking all the old oil and so on, they're pouring it down in the drain. That's going to affect, over a period of time, it's going to affect our groundwater. So they take the coolant, they take the old oil, they take all those other chemicals and they pour it down the drain. Unfiltered, untreated, into the drains, into the sea, into the rivers. And some of us find that's okay. Some people find that's okay. It is wrong. Yeah? Somehow, we'd have to find another area, but people cannot continue just operating the roadside garages. Nobody's trying to deny somebody $1. Yes, you have to make $1, but we have to look at the longer term thing here. The damage to the environment, the damage to the road itself. The damage to the road, yeah. So we have to look at that. The second thing I believe, and government should do that. Take them, you take these vehicles and them, they may have parts in them. After you scrap it down, there may be parts that you could hold in a warehouse somewhere. Somebody comes, they say, I'm looking for a part for a Toyota so-and-so, and you'll be able to point and say, well, okay, we have that part here. Or the same garages that are all around Grenada looking for parts could come to that central location and purchase what parts they're looking for. And that money goes back into the coffers of the government because you would move your vehicle from the side of the road. 3 days. 3 days. Give them 3 days. Some of these vehicles, you know them. You've seen them in your communities. Some of these vehicles, you know, they've been there for years. Years. They've been there. I could understand a situation, and I still can't fully understand it, but I may understand a situation where a person has a vehicle and they're waiting on the parts and so on as such. It is parked up there and they're waiting on the parts on it. But some of these things have been abandoned. They have been abandoned. And as such, it cannot be allowed to continue. The move has to be, You issue a notice, whether it comes from the Ministry of Health or the Ministry of Works or whichever department. You issue a notice. You put on the sticker. Blam. 3 days. Move the vehicle. If it is not moved in 3 days, other course of action will be taken. You're going to have the tow truck come. You're going to load it up. You're going to bring it to the central location. It's going to be stripped. What could be sold as scrap iron going to be sold as scrap iron. And what could be sold as parts going to be sold as parts. And don't expect to get any money off of it because you should have moved it. Don't expect to get any money off of it. You should have moved it. In fact, what you're going to be getting is a bill for having to move it. Yeah? People could vex with me. But the roads go be clear though. And the roads go last though. And the environment go be better though. So I don't mind. Vex with me. But that is the approach that has to be taken, in my view, in relation to that. The other one is in relation to some of the derelict buildings. The same thing should be done. Yeah? Notice given, 72 hours. You ain't telling me the building just come there for derelict. It's obvious. Some of them there since Ivan. And all they're doing is breeding rats and mosquitoes, cockroaches. Yeah? Some of them they've been since Ivan. So you giving notice, clean it, demolish it. You don't do it, the government does it and send the bill to you. That's how I see it should happen. Some people may not like that, as I said, but I believe that is the way that the entire thing needs to go.
Yo, Baba, some people should have named camera or recorder. We say, we're living on we name like newspapers, but I don't care about haters. I got something for them, brand new anthem. Tell them to mind their business, mind the woman they deal with. Work out and go feed your kids. And remember when you hear this, I don't live in my audio. I could do what I want.
Lava mano yeso.
To drink and play mass with the girls, it's all good. I don't live in my audio.
Marcus.
Tell you what me to do. I can do what I want to. So when they ask you what you know, this thing you'll ever see,
Just now, we must offer a degree in Mako. Would have a lot of doctorate in that around. That some people could gain a degree in Mako in just from experience alone. They even have to write an exam. They wouldn't have to do any dissertation. No missiles, no. They could get a doctorate just through qualified by experience. QBE. Dr. So-and-so doctorate in Mako. Let me behave myself because you will see I saying all kind of wrong thing on the radio today. Yeah, then he said, must like them kind of thing. But we have to get to that stage. No, we have to start taking collective responsibility. Government has its responsibility. Don't get me wrong. Government has its responsibility and will always have its responsibility. Yeah? But even before it gets to that stage, there are things that we can avoid having to deal with at another level. We can deal with it at our own level. We must understand that we are causing inconvenience and even danger in some cases to other road users by just abandoning vehicles at certain parts. I passed recently on the Karani James Boulevard. I always pass there on a daily basis, and I realized after what Mr. Kenny James and others did last year, the environmental officers, where they passed around and they gave notice to move certain things, to move boats and different things, that the situation started to come back again. Who are you going to blame? You're going to blame the environmental officers? Last year, they went through the process. They notified, they put up the stickers, and they asked for the owners to come forward so that those vessels, some of them were just basically shell that were there and were not being used and were just filling up our water and all sorts of things in some instances and creating mosquito on the Karani James Boulevard. They gave notice to them and they said, you need to move those things. Now it has come back to the situation that people just leaving it there again. You can't blame the government for that. Yeah, you can't blame them for that. No, you can't blame them for that one, eh? Not at all.
This is your boy Chin, and I'm back again. Where Michelle? Where Michelle? Where Michelle? I want Michelle. Where Michelle? Where Michelle? Where Michelle? Bring back Michelle. Tell them bring back Kim Conchel. E-hard, E-bad. So hard to make it. One day at a time. E-hard, E-bad. But I had to make it. You know that I can. Went and get a woman. In the crowd down in woman. I take she at home. We alone, why she not at home?
We have a caller online. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Mr. Scott, pleasant morning to you and such a glorious holiday.
Hi, sir.
Yeah, so, I'm listening. But, Mr. Scott, I understand what you're saying and I respect what you're saying, but I just cannot buy into a lot of it. Let me tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
The issue with vehicles by the road and things like, and the laws are clear. The issue is not people. It's government not enforcing the law of the land. Mm-hmm. The rules and regulations are very clear. We know what the law is. The big question is why we are not enforcing the law. I asked this question, I think it was to Mr. Steele quite some time back, and these laws are in place. For example, one of my observations in the Grenville bus terminal, we have a forced bus system. Why two buses is allowed to fill going in the same direction at the same time? What do we have rules and regulations therefore?
Mm-hmm.
Why do we have conductors leaving the bus terminal sitting on the hut? I mean, who is looking out for anybody? We are paying people to look out for us, in different aspects of our daily movements. We pay people for that. And I believe that when we place people in certain positions to look for certain things, Mr. Scott, they have a responsibility to look. They have a responsibility to observe.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a responsibility to see. And the problem is that now, if I see you looking, or if I see you place yourself in a position to observe, even if you don't see, then I can work with that. But if you don't place yourself in a position to observe anything, if I see you not paying attention, I have a problem with that. There are some basic things, Mr. Scott, that is becoming a problem that should not become a problem. Give me 1 second as I wrap here.
Mm-hmm.
The Grenville bus terminal, that's one of my pet, my pet projects, so to speak. And I'm looking at the color of the paint that's been used to paint this terminal, and I see, the area can get very nasty in a very short space of time, because, people will lean up against the building and where they will place their feet, and I realize that is creating a very untidy outlook. And I hope in the very near future, once they decide to change the color of that facility, they will paint it in colors that, that can handle some dirt.
Okay.
Mr. Scott, have a pleasant day, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. Well, see, the other thing, too, is then when government does what government have to do, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, Because, yes, there are laws in place. But if you go immediately now and you tell everybody with one of the roadside garages that you nearly immediately have to move the roadside garage, you have to come out from there. The same people who telling you that those roadside garage have to move, come in and cost you. Well, the man who have the garage have the family to take care of. The man who have the roadside garage have the bank to pay. The man who have the roadside garage have this to do and that to do and is providing a service that otherwise would be unavailable in that particular area. And yes, as a human being, you understand that. You understand that the man has his family and everything to take care of. Yes, so there has to be a balance. Nobody is saying that you don't enforce the laws, but there still has to be a balance in how you move forward with it. We have a caller online. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Shal. How are you?
Kish, morning.
Morning. I hate to call in the middle of such a very important topic.
Now, I'm dropping it one time.
I know I don't get a big window to call every day, so I have to take it when I can.
No problem. And especially with what's going on today, I don't mind. I drop that one. I could start back after on it.
You can start after, right. Yes, we're down here. We're currently at the Radisson. Meetings would have started. We continue the CDB meetings today, Board of Governors. It ends today, actually. So while today is actually a national holiday, we are here. Prime Minister has been, he chaired the first breakfast meeting of the board from 7:15 this morning. That would have ended at 9:30. Then he's had a number of bilaterals in the process, and there's also a seminar going on right now at the Radisson on the blue economy.
Mm-hmm.
So the other governors are there. Prime Minister just walked out of another bilateral meeting that he had with the German delegation. The German
Keisha,
and that delegation.
Keisha,
yes?
let's be careful on the word walked out. You know, it has some people, and then when they hear that term, they go say, oh, so you're walking out of meeting now?
No, walked out of the room.
Stepped out. Yeah.
The room where the meeting was held.
But you know them already.
He didn't walk out of the meeting. He walked out of. He just exited. At the conclusion of the meeting. So, okay, thanks for that.
You know them already.
Maybe sure to clarify. Yes, so the meeting concluded and he just exited and he's going back to the seminar. There's an hour break between 11:30 and 12:30 when the closing ceremony actually starts. The closing ceremony starts at 12:30 and it will see Prime Minister handing over the chairmanship to the Governor for the United Kingdom. So the UK will be the one taking over for the next year until May of next year. So at the closing at 12:30, Prime Minister will deliver his closing remarks. President Smith, will do his remarks and reply to statements made over the last few days by governors.
Mm-hmm.
Then they'll do a presentation of computers to Grenada. Some laptop computers will go to Ministry of Education for schools for special needs students.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're probably going to donate 9 or 10 in total. So
Wonderful.
Minister Emlyn Pear has submitted a list of the special education schools. So someone will come to receive that. I believe it's the PS in the Ministry of Education, PS Joseph. And then a few of it will also go to different charities and organizations under the Ministry of Social Development. So those activities will be part of the closing ceremony from 12:30 to 1:30, at which time the President, the Chairman, and the incoming Chairman, the President, the outgoing Chairman, who is Prime Minister, and the incoming Chairman will hold the press conference, the open press conference, for a few minutes, take questions and so from the media, speak about the conclusions of the meeting, the important things coming out of the meeting, decisions, etc., and then officially declare this 48th meeting of the Caribbean Development Bank Board of Governors closed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a very hectic few days, started since Monday. As I said, Prime Minister has had a number of bilaterals on the margins of the conference. He would have met, in addition to the German delegation that I just referenced, he would have also met with the International Development Bank. He met with folks on the blue economy. He met with OFID yesterday. Just a number of them. A lot of people have a lot of interest in Grenada, and a lot of those international organizations that the delegates who are here have been referencing a lot that they're happy with what Grenada has been doing in terms of advancing climate change, the climate change movement, discussion on the blue economy, developing that blue economy space. As we know, our blue economy is 20-something times larger than the land space,
Mm-hmm.
and so there are a number of opportunities there. So we've seen a lot of interest in those areas because, as we know, the conference here is happening under the theme Building Resilience. And I think this stemmed from what we saw last year with the hurricane season and the devastation that was wrought by Hurricanes Irma and Maria in many of our sister countries. So we're hoping that coming out of this, Caribbean states especially, because as we know, this is not just a conference for Caribbean islands, but Caribbean islands especially, which represents the second most vulnerable region in the world, can come up with strategies and so to advance resilience in their own societies, so that whenever a hurricane or another natural disaster, flooding or so strike, that we don't see that level of devastation that we've seen in the last year. We've already heard that this coming hurricane season, which begins tomorrow, is going to be a much more active one than last year. I don't know if that's even possible. We can only hope and pray that we're prepared again, but at the same time, we still have to prepare and put mechanisms in place. So there's been a lot of talk in the last few days about how societies can, Caribbean societies can recover after a hurricane, but more importantly, how we can prevent the devastation that comes with such hurricanes in the first place, because that's more important.
But Keisha, I realize as well that in his comments at the opening ceremony, that the president of the bank did make reference to Grenada putting aside a portion of its earnings under its CBI program towards disaster preparedness. In other words, it's put aside there in case something happens, Grenada can access that, and actually praising it as a model.
Yes, and the president has referenced this in seminars as well, that not just Grenada, but the few countries in the region that have CBI programs need to do the same if they haven't started doing it. The CBI program is not just about hotel projects and so, but a lot of it is to help build resilience. And we know that we're talking infrastructure, we're talking social resilience, lift people out of poverty and all of that. And Grenada has started doing that, putting aside a portion of the earnings. I believe, I don't know if Prime Minister did make reference to a 40. I don't know if he said 40% so far, 40 million. I don't want to misquote it. That would have been, Grenada has already put aside, or is in the process of putting aside for that. And we've heard in the last few weeks, we've heard the PM himself say, as well as other ministers, that we're going to now move to really activate the National Transformation Fund, bringing it into the local communities to focus on projects there and youth development and so. And this is all part of the same project. This is all part of what we're talking about here, because we know when in the event of a natural disaster, we know the most affected are usually the poorest and most vulnerable. We've heard a lot of talk in the last few days too about women. A lot of the households in the region are single-parent households now led by women, and they have been, in terms of gender, women have been most affected in the after these natural disasters. So there are a lot of things to put in place. We know Senator Simon Steele has been tasked with that ministry, climate resilience, environment, etc., forestry, fisheries, disaster management, and information. And so he has been very active here as well. He's been participating in all the bilateral meetings with Prime Minister. He's also a temporary alternate governor who sits in the Grenada chair throughout these conferences for the last few days. And so he has been very instrumental in the technical support in that area, in terms of really helping to lead the discussion on our initiatives for resilience and what the bank is attempting to implement. And as we know, the CDB is not a talk organization, right? The CDB is action-oriented. So we have seen that whatever the conclusions coming out of these past few days are, we know that we will see them enacted in the next few months or so. Okay. So I think that's where we are. Oh, there was one other seminar yesterday on connectivity and transportation. Prime Minister would have spoken at the opening ceremony yesterday prior to that seminar on echoing his call for better or more efficient regional transport. We would have even heard him praising Liat for the first time in ages. He made sure to say that for his last 6 or so trips on Liat. They've been on time. They've even been early. And the scheduling has been more efficient. I think we're also seeing an increase in Liat service to Grenada in the last, and it will probably get better as we move into the summer with daily flights. There's now a daily flight, I believe, to Barbados. That daily 11-something flight that they had taken off is back. So we're seeing now a betterment in their service. So Prime Minister did give them their kudos, but he is still calling for better management, have Liat operate as a business, and not just be at the whim of governments or so. And so the CDB has undertaken a study, or had undertaken a study, and that was some of the conclusions discussed yesterday at that seminar, how to improve regional connectivity and transport.
Yeah.
And they found that a number of the same things that Prime Minister would have been talking about. This is what has to happen in order for the region to have better service. The President in his remarks at the opening would have said so. One of the main things that has to happen is for regional governments to collectively decrease the taxes that are placed on airline tickets and some of the other fees associated with air transport, in order to make traveling throughout the region, or make freedom of movement more affordable and more accessible. Because people will be able to, obviously, if you can afford it, you'll travel more. So right now we're seeing the bank found that most of the people in the region, the highest number of people in the region travel to North America yearly, to Miami and New York. And so because of the scheduling and the cost, when they compare that against what it costs Liat to go to St. Kitts, for example, or Antigua, then they make the decision, I'll go to Miami. Or when they compare the number of hours it takes in transit in Barbados or Trinidad or so to get to another island, from Grenada, for example, then you decide, you know what, I'll jump on JetBlue and head to New York. It's only 4 hours. So, you know, these have been some of the things really restricting regional travel, and the bank at its seminar yesterday would have focused in on that, focused on the results from all the data and so that they've collected, and now they're going to try to chart the way forward. It was interesting to see that Prime Minister Gaston Brown of Antigua, who was here yesterday, he left this morning. He too is now supporting this cut down on the taxes. But of course, one country cannot do it. Grenada can't be the only one, or Antigua be the only one joining them. It has to be a collective effort among the CARICOM government. And so the task now is to get the other leaders, all other leaders, to agree, because we're talking freedom of movement of people and goods and services.
Wonderful.
So, yeah.
Quite a busy holiday, a working holiday, girl.
Yes, it is. I am actually looking forward to the end. But, you know, it hasn't just been pure work. We've had 3 really productive but enjoyable nights so far. The opening cocktail on Monday night, which was hosted by Prime Minister here at the Radisson, very well attended again, a lot of networking. Feedback has been great from the delegates. Then the night after that, on Tuesday night, I think it was, yes, we had the William Demas lecture at St. George's University. That again was very well attended. It was a lecture by Professor Pelling from King's College in London, who had started his career in Guyana and has studied the Caribbean extensively. He was discussing the issue of building, how the region can build resilience. And then it was followed by a Q&A session with the audience. So that went up to about 9:15, after which there was a reception at SGU. So that was another late night. You're talking about the reception now starting at 9:30.
Wow.
I don't even know what time it ended. And then last night, which I think was really the crowning night, because Grenada, the local organizing committee here, led by P.S. Alva Brown, and including people like myself, but former P.S. Elizabeth Greenidge, P.S. Utram, Tommy Matthew, Mr. John Williams, Carrie Grenade, representatives from the Ministry of Finance, Rawls, Titus, and others. would have taken the decision to do a Grenada night. It was the brainchild, I think, of Piers Greenwich. Instead of doing another stiff type cocktail type event, to do a cultural night with Grenada products, Grenada food of different foods on display, available for tasting or sampling or whatever we call it, or eating. So last night was that night at Spice Basket, and Sheldon, it was beautiful. Very, very well attended again by the delegates. As I said, there are about 400 delegates here from about 30 countries and different organizations. But that night, we saw a lot of cultural performances, a lot of our carnival type masquerade on display. We saw the dance theaters, Concepcion and the others. The D-Unit band, I think, was also the highlight of the night because they played several sets. And as of the time I left there last night at 11, a number of the delegates were on the dance floor, totally enjoying themselves, sampling Grenada drinks, the local rums and stuff. And they were just having a ball of a time at Spice Basket. So I can't even tell you what time it ended. It would have started around 8. It was supposed to end around 10. But I think the delegates were having too much fun. So everyone just sort of stayed around. The Prime Minister was there. PM Brown was there up to a point. Both he and Prime Minister would have left earlier, obviously. But the rest of them, they really did have a ball. So I must compliment Tommy Matthew, P.S. Utrum, and P.S. Greenwich, especially for that particular initiative. It was one with a difference. We knew we were tasked with putting on something that night by the CDB, so we knew we had to do something. But to have done it the way they did, with Grenada on display, with the food, the feedback on the food was excellent. I myself, I'd never even eat oil dung often, much less even eat it at night. I had a veggie oil dung and it was out of this world. I had lambi waters, again, same thing. Mm-hmm. They had bakes and saltfish. They had people kept going to the bar.
Hey, it close to lunch, you know. What are you trying to do? Get me hungry?
Or whiskey or so, and they had to be reminded over and over, this is about Grenada.
Mm-hmm.
So all the drinks you saw would have been made here.
Wow.
This is Grenada. So all the rums and the Caribbean stuff, that's what we were serving.
I find you're trying to get me hungry this close to lunch, you know. Bye, Keisha.
No, well, you should, though. Last night was, because they brought in street vendors, right? So last night it really, really was done well.
Wonderful.
The place was so tastefully decorated. The colors, the culture, the mood, it was nice. It was nice, I must say. So it's been some very long days, late nights. I think that's the point I was trying to make, but productive. Mm-hmm. And I think Grenada has been very well represented. The work put in by the local committee in just ensuring that everything was done quite tastefully cannot be understated, and we must give credit to that.
All right. Well, we'd like to thank you so very much, Keisha. And what does the weekend look like for Prime Minister?
Well, I hope it's rest. I really do hope it's rest. I haven't even looked at the schedule for the next few days yet. I know tomorrow obviously is the regular office hours from around 6:45. Mm-hmm. But I haven't even looked that far in advance because the last few days of focus has really just been pure CDB activities and the bilaterals that have been taking place. So I haven't checked.
Okay, but I know you'll get it in the morning.
I do hope that he does get some rest so that some of us could get some as well.
Okay. Well, you enjoy the rest of your day today and say good morning to the entire team for us.
Yes, thank you. And I hope you guys listen in for the final press conference at 12:30.
Okay, will do.
Okay, have a good one.
Bye-bye. Yes, folks, we are speaking to a press secretary. Yes, that's Miss Lakeisha Grant. And she has been giving us an update on the Caribbean Development Bank Board of Governors meeting that has been taking place here in Grenada over the past few days. Yeah, very, very busy few days for Prime Minister Mitchell and his team, Senator Simon Steele, as the lead minister when it comes to the environment. And but everybody, from the protocol staff to the GIS staff, because it's a difficult thing to deal with. It's not an easy thing, Yeah, especially if he's a protocol officer. My goodness. Yeah, wow. Anyway, folks, phone lines still open. We have a few minutes remaining on today's program. 440-7377, 440-73. I realize quite a conversation has been going on in relation to the issue of the abandoned vehicles at the side of the road, and I'm sticking to my viewpoint. Dwight, yeah, I see your statements, but your last statement basically comes back to what I've been saying, that I think it is important to give them this 72 hours notice. As I said, some of these vehicles, when you look at them, they've been there for a few years, you know. A few years they've been at the side of the road, so we have to do what has to be done. Let's just take this call. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, morning.
Hello.
Hi, Kish.
Yes, sorry to take up other callers' time. I
No
was
problems.
remiss in saying we really must give credit to the protocol officers and the security, the RGPF. I should have said that. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you reminded me. I mean, they have been working around the clock, as we know.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. 400 delegates. There have been a number of volunteers that they've pulled from other ministries to help with the protocol. And the national security team, as again, coordinating the transport and the security. You know, these are high-level delegates, so security is paramount. So I must give credit to the security team led by Officer Prince and Bernard Nelson, ACP Prince, and Superintendent or Assistant Superintendent Bernard Nelson, and the protocol team led by Adrian Joseph.
Yes.
Thank you.
No problem, my dear.
Okay.
Yeah. ACP Prince, good morning to you and your team, sir. And also good morning to Adrian. Yeah, Adrian. Yeah, you never know, you know. A little later on, I wonder where the junction are later, boy. If I go by junction, I might go by plywood bar down by Fantasia there. When you go down by Fantasia and you look on your right hand side, you'll see plywood. Yeah, I might go there a little later. And you know, because it's a holiday, time to relax and take it a little easy and thing. So I might pass there later. Then I might pass down by junction. And I'll pass by Garfield too. Yeah, I'll pass him by Garfield. Yeah, when you're making our wrongs, make our wrongs. I'll pass by Garfield too. Nice, yeah. All right, folks. Yeah, we have just a few minutes remaining. 440-7377. Yeah, we cannot continue to just allow people to just abandon vehicles at the side of the road. And I'm not speaking about the man that might have his car and he's waiting for a part to arrive, or it may be a difficult part to find, and you just go and you snap up his vehicle and move it. But we all can identify vehicles that have been at the side of the road, sometime going on 2 and 3 years or even more. And it cannot be a situation that we allow those vehicles to continue to be there to cause obstruction to the traffic, damage to the roadway, and endanger the lives of people. You walking along the road, and we're supposed to be sidewalk, where you're supposed to be able to walk freely. And this goes for the normally able, the normal people, and the disabled people, who sometimes you have the blind folks that have to walk with their cane and so on. Or the people who are in wheelchair and so, who's supposed to be passing at the side, that now have to pass in the road. We cannot allow these things to continue. It has to be dealt with. And yes, I agree with one of the previous callers. Government has a responsibility. But still, the process has to start somehow, and we need to look at how we go about it. Yeah? In the first instance, you shouldn't be parking it at the side of the road and leave it there. Because some of them may pass, they don't even have tires. They don't even have tires. They're up on blocks. But they're there for the longest while. Yeah, they're there for the longest while. So I'm not saying that somebody's vehicle go bad this month and next month you go and you just tell them move it. But in the first instance, they should be notified after that vehicle has been there for a specific period of time, be it 2 weeks or whatever, or even maybe not that long, but they should be notified that it cannot stay there. Because there are places that you could bring it, there are places that you could park it, or even if what you're saying is that, or what we're all saying, okay, Dwight, maybe you misunderstood, and you know that's how it goes sometime. But maybe we need to secure a big location and say, okay, that is where you could leave the vehicle. Yeah, but we cannot continue. Number one, Grenada does not have big roads. We don't have wide roads here. And with the types of vehicles coming in, the SUVs and so that we have coming in, that people are buying, it's not them Hunter and them little piece of Lada cars that used to be here in the 1980s during the Revo time, them local Lada And them, what do you call them? Them other little piece of car and them they used to have back in those days. That like a little matchbox. Man used to crimp up inside it. And you're moving about the place. No. It's big vehicles that we have on the roads right now. And it's becoming difficult now with some of the roads when you have somebody that go and park and they just leave a vehicle there and they go on. And 2, 3, 4 months, that vehicle park up there. 1 year, it park up. 2 years, it park up there. My thing, government give you a notice, 3 days. Move it in 3 days or else. You don't move it in 3 days, the tow truck come, it take it, it bring it to our side, whether Perseverance or where. You strip it, you take the metal and so, you sell it, scrap iron, money back to the economy. The parts go into a warehouse. So you go to the Toyota section, you get Toyota parts. You go to the Kia section, you get Kia parts. You go to the Mitsubishi section, you get Mitsubishi parts. Put the parts inside there. One of the same garages and so wants to get something, they can call up. Do you have spark plugs for this type of vehicle? Do you? Well, they will not use spark plugs anyway. But do you have a steering arm for this vehicle, or do you have a drop link for that vehicle, or whatever it is? You go and you order, and you can buy it there. Even if you want to put it up on eBay as well, no problem. But that money can come back into the economy, because I'm pretty sure. And let's be honest here, that if we look at all the vehicles that we have that would qualify to be removed under such a program, we have actually hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting down around there. Yeah, hundreds of thousands of dollars illegally sitting all around there. By the time you calculate in scrap iron and in parts, might even be as much as $1 million sitting right around the, and it's not going to cost $1 million to move them and scrap them. Yeah, you're providing some employment for some guys to scrap it. Provide some employment for some tow truck drivers to move it. And some security and some persons in a place to deal with it. But put the program in place. Because we cannot continue like that. You're passing through some very narrow village roads. And you have to pray that you don't meet something coming in the next direction. Because there's nearly no way to turn, no way to pass, and that sort of thing. It's the nature of some of the roads. We have a very extensive road network. But some people create circumstances and situations that makes it difficult for everybody else just because they find, I'm Grenadian, I can do what I want. There's my country, I can do what I want. Yes, it's your country, but the rest of us live here too. It's ours as well. So we have to make sure. And yes, Nazim, that's true. We have on average 100 vehicles sometimes per week coming into this country. Remember what I said earlier, in case some of you may not have been listening. There is an obstruction right now in the area of the Captain Harris apartments. And I was caught in that earlier, and traffic backed up on a holiday between Captain Harris apartments and Silver Sands. That's the amount of vehicle on the road on today a holiday, when you expect to meet hardly anything on the road. Yeah, so there are a significant number of vehicles coming into the country. Significant number of vehicles. And as such, yeah, we have to do things to make it a little easier for everybody else. Fixing the roads is one thing, but you fix the roads and a guy just decide, I go in and fix vehicles in the road here, and he block up the road. Nice new road, you know. And then you have some of the construction companies that need to take a check on yourself too. And we're going to close it off here, but some of the construction companies, you can't take the caterpillar, the excavator, and drive it up on the brand new concrete road that just do, and chip up the road. That is against the law. And RGPF, you see that one? You all need to enforce the law when it comes to that. This thing about people just doing what they want and damaging the public road. And then my money and the other taxpayers listening to this program, all money have to come to fix it. And these people get away, for want of another word, because that is my name, scot-free. Yeah, the cement mixers that pass in with the cement and dumping it out at the side of the road, or it overflowing to the side of the road, taking away sometimes as much as a feet of road. in areas that already narrow. That is unfair. And once one of us sees it and we identify it, action should, must, and has to be taken against these people that are doing that. The trucks that carrying the gravel and they're just falling out. You have guys that are the Bikers Association and different people that could cause death. Yeah, you could cause the death of someone. We have to, each of us, take responsibility for our country as well. Whether it's trying to eradicate mosquitoes in our home and our neighborhood, our community, our workplace, or whether it's the way that we do things in our country that affect others. So don't go just parking your vehicle up on the side of the road because it ain't working. You get somebody to tow it and drop it there. And you find because you live in right in front there, that it's okay to block the road in front of where you're living. No, the road doesn't belong to you, brother. It belongs to the government. All of us, in other words, because all of us form the government. It belongs to all of us. So you can't just park your vehicle there and block up the road. No, you can't do that. You should not do that. And if you do that, consequences should follow. Yeah? I understand there are guys with the garages that need to make their money and so. Talk to your parliamentary representative. Let's see if we could locate a piece of place somewhere, whether it's 2 or 3 of you all get together and you have your own section somewhere in the community that you could go and do that. But at the side of the road, in my view, and I could point out to you and call a few names, you know, but I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. You understand that you have to take care of your family. You have your children to send to school, and I want to see you be able to send your children to school. But we have to come to our common understanding. Talk to your MP, and let's see if we could secure a spot for you. But it cannot be just at the side of the road and inconveniencing road users, damaging the road, and throwing all those chemicals down into the drain that ending up down in the seaside, into the sea that all of we like to go and bathe in and want to go and take a rest and thing to the oil and thing going down in. You can't do that. Yeah? Let's all love our country. Don't just say it. Do it in actions too, not just words. Let's do it in action as well, how we do things. Yeah? Because if we don't do that, sargassum seaweed will be the last thing we have to be worried about. You go have a lot more worse things than that. Yeah? Dengue will be the last thing you have to worry about. And realize you just keep hearing these mosquito-borne diseases getting worse and worse. Until you hear about one that everyone that get that one go dead. It sounds far-fetched. Chickweed it song far-fetched too. That you get bite by a mosquito and then you feel like you want to die. All parts of your body paining. Zika it song far-fetched too. That a mosquito bite you and put you into a coma. So let's not wait until the next one reach. Yeah? Eradicate them from your areas. Folks, that's all the time we have for Hard Talk for today. It's been wonderful being here with you. And indeed, we're going to leave right about now. But in everything we say, everything we do, we want you to be safe and secure. We want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. Love each and every one of you. My name is Sheldon Scott. I'm out of here. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more Hard Talk for you from 10 until 12. All right? So you do enjoy the rest of your day. As I said, yeah, I go on. It's all, I feel like going in the gazebo. And then I'm going down by the plywood. Then I'm going down by Garfield. And yeah, I'm making the wrongs. All right? Yeah, we're making the wrongs. Nice. Beautiful. So that's all the time we have for today. Love each and every one of you.
Royal Grenada Police Force presents Ecstatic 3.
After returning the country on a sound economic footing, the new National Party government began releasing a number of developmental projects across the country, some of which were done by investors, both local and foreign, under the Citizenship by Investment program. Sharia Noel visited some of these projects, updates us on the work done, and tells the story of those who have benefited.
The Keith Mitchell administration stormed back to government in February 2013, promising to revive an economy left battered by the previous administration. Dr. Mitchell's new National Party promised to attract local and foreign investment as part of an overall plan to return stability to the economy and cut skyrocketing unemployment. The task was indeed challenging. Foreign investment projects that came to Grenada over the past 5 years include the Silver Sands Grenada, a $65 million U.S. investment luxury hotel and private villas. General Manager Christian Langlade confirms that confidence in the new National Party administration is the reason behind this significant investment.
The main reason why we are here and our investors chose Grenada is the great support that was extended by the government. Everybody has been extremely thoughtful and attentive in helping us to settle, whether it is on a legal point of view, a social point of view. We have very close relationship with the educational system, both for young apprentice or whether it be TAMCC, even the private sector like the university, St. George's University, that have been extremely good to help. So on all fronts we have been duly guided, and thanks to the constant support of Minister Steele and the cabinet members, the Minister of Tourism, we are being constantly guided and helped in our mission, and it's a joint effort that will definitely lead to a great success. So I'm not sure everybody fully appreciates the intensity of our project and where we are, what we are aiming at doing, but on the very short term it's 180 direct employments, very probably an additional 120, 150 subcontractors and suppliers. And obviously if things are going well, there's no reason why we should stop at this current investment, and would like to do more, because both we feel that the destination deserves for more and also has everything going for itself to increase again the size of the accommodations being offered and the caliber of operations.
Another of the major investments came through the Citizen by Investment program that aided in the expansion at Mount Cinnamon. Director of Savvy Grenada, Barry Colomo, explains.
We are going to double the size of our resort just based on citizenship by investment. And that speaks volumes. So, already we've had to employ more people because we have more rooms. Continue to offer high quality product, which our customers expect. In terms of jobs, so all of these new suites and villas have to be built. So immediately there's construction jobs, but then there's sustainable direct jobs because you have a bigger resort, and there's more work for the ancillary services.
In the north of the island, Grenada has spent $4.6 million on the St. Patrick Breakwater project that employed some 30 people and returned the beachfront.
Perhaps the breakwater is the catalyst, will be the catalyst, because then there is access to the water up here, which at the moment there isn't. And so it will open up all sorts of opportunities up here, and I think all sorts of development will follow. So we are very excited about it.
The Olivera Nature and Beach Resort Tourism Development Project, also in the north of the island, has seen some $10 million invested to date.
They are primarily from the St. Patrick Parish. So we have River Sally, of course, Rose Hill, Satyrs. We also have from Tivoli, and there are also some persons from the St. Andrew Parish as well. So we're sticking more to the northern side of the island since our project is based here. Going forward, once the project is complete, obviously once we're up and running, there will be the opportunity for quite a few Grenadians to be employed. We would need restaurant staff, we would need our sanitary and cleaning staff, bar management, front desk and receptionist, housekeeping, landscaping and farming. So there'll be quite a lot of opportunities for persons to fully join and become part of our family going forward.
Another significant investment during the period under review is that of the redevelopment of what was known as Flamboyant Hotel. The new name is the Kempton Brandon Kiwana Bay, a 4.5-star international luxury beach resort overlooking one of the world's most pristine white sand beaches in Monroe, St. George, to the tune of $125 million. The Kiwana Bay project began in January 2016 and has created employment for over 60 people. Other major projects coming to the island, creating jobs and building the economy, includes the Clarkscourt Bay Marina, that has invested $45 million to date, generating 35 permanent jobs. The Point at Pitti Calavini Resort, which began in 2016, presently employs 80 construction workers and is expected to have 50 permanent employees on completion. Hideaway True Blue, a 21 million condominium development, is also well underway. Also, the Keith Mitchell administration in the past 5 years has spent a significant sum on construction of bridges and road repairs throughout the state. Construction, which has expanded considerably, has played a major role in reviving the Grenada economy between 2013 and 2018. I am Sherian Noel.
This year promises to be a spectacular affair as beauties of the Caribbean compete on one stage for the title of Miss Caribbean United. Come see contestants from the islands of Trinidad, St. Lucia, St. Kitts, Nevis, St. Vincent, Anguilla, Dominica, Venezuela, Antigua, Dominican Republic, Margarita, Barbados, and host country Grenada. It's the 2018 Miss Caribbean United pageant, Saturday, June 2nd at the Spice Basket, uniting the Caribbean through beauty.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new national party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.